This guy is first an electrician. You may know him as a DJ, but that's not who he is. He is a certified electrician. Flash said, how can I get this music to continuously play without having to stop? How can I keep the party moving? How can I keep this going? And surprisingly enough, he can't a mic toggle switch. A mic toggle switch is a little round thing and it had a switch and you go click, click, on, off. That's all it does. It's a switch. It's a toggle. It has a little thing and a ball on the front. And it's like on, off. He kicked it. It was garbage. He picked it up, started thinking about it. On, off, on, off. He's a certified electrician. Went home with this thing, hooked it up to his turntables. He clicked one, that came on. Clicked this, it didn't come on. Why? Because it's off. So he made off, on. So now you got two ons. One shuts the other one off and plays this. The other one shuts that off and plays this. The crossfade is invented now. Grandmaster Flash is not a DJ, he's an inventor. To this day, Panasonic, Sony, Toshiba has not given him royalties. To this very day, when you walk in any electronic store, you see a mixer with a crossfader, Flash is supposed to be getting royalties. But that was taken from hip-hop.
This is a radio made by this young man. Okay? All right, check it out. Check it out. That's how smart and bright our Haitian boys are. See that? He made this on his own. He's only 13 years old, and look at what this boy has done. From scratch, a radio with the speaker. So you can't tell me that my Haitian boys are not bright. So qui genre radio ça a fonctionné? Avec batterie ou bien?
Oui, batterie.
C'est où que c'est batterie? Hein? Vous utilisez batterie téléphone?
Non, avec bouton téléphone à changer.
Oh my lord, c'est qui genre là?
Junior.
Junior, bon, quand ça passe, on va mettre ça sur YouTube parce que faut moun bagaille ça. Parce que ou même à 13 ans seulement, ou fait gros bagaille ça, moi m'pa ka faire. Et m'ka maman, m'ka grand-mère. Just kidding. Oh my lord, he is only 13 years old and this is what he's done. I mean, this is amazing. The battery is from I think a phone battery that he used. And look at the inside of this thing here. My gosh. Can you raise up the volume? Oh, okay. He said if he put it higher, his battery it'll be discharged. So. Yeah, I'm videotaping. If I wasn't discharged by my maison, oh Lord. What's the music? I've enjoyed music, It's what I am doing. Pour l'autre petit monde qui a 13 ans, qui ne connaît rien. Où est-ce que monter le volume là? Meni. Monter le volume là. You know, he just raised the volume. Oh, see, he knew what he was doing. All right, great. Good job. L'école?
Oh, he coming back, Shorty. Dee! He just bust him! Dee! So that's a 9 on video.
Master Ronald Duncan gives a demonstration of the skills that made him such an influential personality in the New York martial arts community. Born in Panama, he began training in boxing at the age of 7. Duncan went on to earn many black belts in systems such as Hakuryu Jiu-Jitsu, Aikido, Kempo, and Ninjutsu. Here he shows the speed and polish of an expert in both weapons and empty hand fighting. Duncan was able to catch live arrows set aflame, something you certainly don't see every day. Here it is again in slow motion. Notice the archer taking aim at the left hand of the screen.
Sell your smoke, we're gonna sell over. У них всегда все легко получается. У кого? У нигеров. Иногда я сам хотел бы быть нигером. Да, я тоже. Я бы ограбил магазин. Они в этом не виноваты, это точно. Я вот что скажу. Мы как порода собак. Нас вывели, чтобы делать то, что мы делаем. Северные расы — это одно, а вот южные — что-то другое.
Здесь первый черный рэпер России. 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 Первый черный рэпер России. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. Ты задаешь каждый день мне прямой вопрос, но ты же сам знаешь, что я на этой музыке рос. И сегодня рэп — это мой поведенческий рефлекс. Мир ушедшим воном рэпа, DJ 3, DJ Flex. Все по делу, я в этой теме давно и всерьез. Когда ты там, где ты не нужен, то и жизнь под откос. Я делаю свое, и мне пофигу на их акустику. И пусть идут, ведь но хардкор ко мне их не пропустит тут. Это уже мой 20 хуем лет в России. Да, это я, первый черный рэпер России. Ты не мог понять, зачем и откуда меня к вам принесло. Море ненависти напронажать всем им назло. Еще недавно я в душе знал, что я рэпер. Сейчас я об этом уже не думаю, просто я рэпер. Все, что связало с альянсом, отвалилось от меня. Слава богу, значит так надо, значит это судьба. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. 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 Первый черный рэпер России. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. Первый черный рэпер России. Голова свежа, куплеты отражают происходящее. Мой рэп — это прошлое, будущее и настоящее. Я делаю это для себя, но это прет и окружающих. На сцене взрыв энергии, все кричат: давай еще! Это не рэп в его привычном смысле слова. Это плевок в морду расизма снова и снова. Это пинок по затем рэперам, чё имя отстой. Ты назвал меня негром, что? Парень, постой. Твоя жизнь как анекдот, она опять меня смешит. Я не играю в ваши игры, в этот детский гангстер-щит. Я должен держать ухо востро и точно знать, что происходит внизу, ведь я на высоте опять. Многие видят себя как в зеркале, когда я пишу. Я условился сам собой не менять, что я пишу. Во мне начал расти новый росток, новый альбом. Force Records атакует, man, drop the bomb. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. 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 Первый черный рэпер России. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. Я снова переживаю прелесть тех первых дней, когда я вышел на сцену, мне кричали: «Панс, не робей!» Часто все подробности всплывают в моей памяти. Россия стала моим домом, вы это сами знаете. Рэп — это мысли, приходящие в течение дня. Делая эту музыку, я вынужден отдавать часть себя. Люди нуждаются в правде, я им дам правду сполна. Мир тому, кто хочет мира, остальным война. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. Первый черный рэпер России. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. Здесь первый черный рэпер России. Здесь первый черный рэпер России.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Half these niggas don't even believe we locked up. I don't know nobody basement look like this, you feel me? This shit is painful, man. I'm gonna take you in the mind of a convict, let you know what I feel every day. You understand? Let's go.
I say listen, and maybe you will see that everything that happened isn't meant to be. I say listen, and maybe you will see that everything that happened isn't meant to be. I know that it hurts like hell. I know that you don't want to seem scared. I know peace is so hard to find, especially with all the shit that's on your mind. I know
times getting hard, I try not to think about it. I'm in the pen now, trying to write the ink about it. I've been a little more stressed since my wife left me. The devil's inside, I feel like you might get me. And I can shine, just depending how the light hit me. The drugs fuck your life up, ain't they right, Whitney? And I've been taking those a lot, they don't seem to work. And words ain't shit, cause now they all seem to hurt. And since I went away, the ones I thought loved me come see me twice a year, and that's if I'm lucky. And for them backstabbing buffoons when the knife stuck me, this a lot deeper than the wounds, nigga. Cause I done cashed my reality check, surrounded by the fake but can't escape reality yet. I was trying to feed my family, took me as a threat, put me away. Now it's hard for me to accept that things change. And it's hard for me to forget baby moms getting pregnant over meaningless sex. Not to mention Mother's Day, I lost one of my best homies. My son got love for his pops that he can't show me, cause he don't even know who I am. I mean he do, but he don't really know who I am. And that's the truth, so I gotta take that with a grain of salt. Respect that everything that's happened is my fault. I may never see my moms on the street again. The Lord calling me, I might end up meeting him before I ever see my date of release. Cause it's all the game, but these niggas playing for keeps. And the fact still remains that pain is a real emotion. Something you gotta hide, a door you can't open. Cause even when you feel like everything's been broken, man gotta be man. Even if it's pretend, I can't hold it in, most these niggas are lie. Sometimes I gotta take me a shower to cry. That's the only time I get a moment that's private. My moment of peace, and that's where I find it. This is my life, it's making me sick. Learning bars and barbed wires only made them strict. Leave me confined, let my mind mentally picture a nigga fucking my bitch while I'm beating my dick. Damn. What would you do if you was in my shoes? Lost to suicide, but for my kids I choose to survive hell on earth. Cause this is hell I curse. Whoever created it, they should've laid it in first, so they could feel how they own shit work. Spitefulness is bad, ignorance is worse. Cause at least I know when you do shit out of spite, I can respect it more cause you know what it's like. So don't act like you been where I've been. If you ain't never been here, how could you begin to know what I had to go through? Time you can't blow through. Trying to make it out without a house to come home to. Trying to make sense of it all. I'm an artist, but I don't have a pencil to draw. So I express my thoughts vocally. Paint a picture for y'all, so you don't have to count bricks on these walls. Cause who wants to live like that? Most niggas can't call the crib like that. You can't be it like that. Freedom is everything. Niggas cherish their lives more. Shit you throw away, these niggas willing to die for. You better recognize before it's too late. Dude been home 30 days, caught a new case. And it hurt bad, not cause that's your man's. It's cause you wish it was you that had that second chance. Now you
listen, and maybe you will see that everything that happened isn't meant to be. I say listen, and maybe you will see that everything that happened isn't meant to be. I know.
在我的眼里，那是我的爱在对你诉说，在你的心里有一个声音，我能听得见你远去的心。我们一起走到这里，早已默契，何必太多言语？当你转身那一瞬，凝固我冰冷声音，你是我不能承受之轻，在我的一起走到这里，早已默契，何必太多言语？当你转身那一瞬，凝固我冰冷声音，你是我不能承受之轻。
ខ្មៅចេះនិយាយខ្មែរបងប្អូនមើលហើយ
សាធុសាធុ
មើលហើយសុភាទីមើល
អូក៏លួចថតទៀត
ឡើងសុភាណាគេយកដាក់លើស៊ីរី
ឃើញតែស្មោលទេចាំមើលអត់ថ្ងៃ
មើលចេះបលៃណាឲ្យឃើញណាសុភាចេះបងបាំងរួយណា
យកយកមកបងឯងខកហៅខ្មៅហ្នឹងឯងណាបងឯងខ្ញុំ
ចៅអូនណែរស់នៅណែស្រុកនេះប្រហែលឆ្នាំហើយ
យកគិតណាអូសុភាតំនឹកឃើញមកបាយមនុស្សស្គាល់ធ្វើមិនដូចស្គាល់អញ្ចឹងពុនឯងយ៉ាខ្មៅនេះមកយកបងខូចស្រកហើយនឹងមកដើរស្គាល់ស្រកខ្មែរខ្ញុំអត់ចោលបានសំណាងម្ដងទៅដល់ឯងឲ្យអូយបងប្អូនឆ្ងាយ
ហើយចៅអូនជនជាតិអីដែរដែលពេទ្យប្រកប
ខ្ញុំកូនចៅតកាយកជុងណា
ហើយចៅអូនចេះណែភាសាខ្មែរហ្នឹងប្រហែលឆ្នាំមកហើយ
ហេឃ
ខ្ញុំវាមើលវាមិនតំត្រូវទេជាប់ជាប្រមាណដងក៏រកវាមិនអត់ដែរដូច្នេះខ្ញុំថាវាមិនទៀង
Ê cho ôn rồi ngay luôn xí đá.
Héខ្ញុំស៊ីលុយពីការទេមិនអូន
Bọt khmerក៏ចេះដែរ
បត់ខ្មែរក៏ចេះដែរប្រសេបត់ខ្មែរទៀត
ឲ្យហ៊ុនសែននឹងកន្លៅអូខេខ្មែរបានទេអូនអរ៉ាប់ខ្មែរមួយមើលរ៉ាប់ខ្មែរមកឲ្យពួកនោះបាសក់មើល
អូចេះ
ហើយតបងឯងកំដរខ្ញុំមកបត់ហ្នឹងបាន
អារ៉ាប់
ខ្ញុំ
អារ៉ាប់មួយឲ្យគេឃើញមើល
បាយរ៉ាប់ទេ
ឲ្យ Facebook ឃើញមួយឲ្យពួក
បើចេះរ៉ាប់ទេថាអីស្គាល់តែខ្លួនបានខ្លួនមក
អេយើងមិនចេះរ៉ាប់ហ្មង
មិនចេះ
មួយបានទេបង្ហាញនៅ Facebook អូនមើលរ៉ាប់មួយមើល
មិនចេះរ៉ាប់ទេចេះតែសូន
សូនមកឥឡូវសូនមកឥឡូវសូនមួយមេមកចា
ដាក់នៅ Facebook សត្រូវនឹងតិច
ដាក់ Facebook ដាក់ Facebook
កំពួនខ្លួនហើយដាក់អើយគេរកឃើញអស់ណា
ខំលាក់ខ្លួន
ចំមោះធំទៅប៉ុណ្ណឹងហើយមិននៅដឹងក្លិន
ចំមោះធំប៉ុណ្ណឹងនៅមិនដឹងក្លិនទៀតចោ
មកចោហើយបងប្អូន
ចេះជាងឯងផងខ្មែរនោះ
How is it that the American Negro, who for so long has been a second-class citizen in the United States,
still is, I'm sorry.
Well, how is it that he's contributed so much to American culture?
Well,
music, dance, everything you can think
well,
of.
I have to be very modest about that. I would say certainly as we look at the African peoples in Nigeria, for example, I just got a wonderful invitation to go to Nigeria to be present at the installation at the Governor General Ezekwe, an old friend, who will now, and I had to cable him. I'm in Australia. I certainly would like to be with you, but I'm out here with some good folks. But I'll get to Nigeria later.
Mr. Robson, do you feel that Africa is to some extent an affinity for it, a home, or do you still feel America is essentially your home? How do you feel?
Well, let me come. Yeah, I'll come to that in just a second. But to come back to it, so I would say the Africans and the American Negroes have turned out to be an extraordinarily gifted people. The great tragedy is that by not making us full-class citizens as yet in America, they may be losing, I don't know how much yet. That's all. And to come back, I would say that unquestionably, I am an American, born there. My father slaved there. Upon the backs of my people was developed the primary wealth of America, the primary wealth. You have to have accumulated wealth to start, to build. You did it another way here in Australia. You had to build your accumulated wealth too. You just came and took it. You know what I mean? And that's what they did in most of the countries. That's what you Europeans did. You just took it. We got to catch up with you a little bit. And so in America. So there's a lot of America that belongs to me yet. You understand? But just like a Scottish American is proud of being from Scotland, I'm proud for being African. Now in our school books, they tried to tell me that all Africans were savages. Till I got to London and found most of the Africans I knew were going to Oxford and Cambridge and doing very well, and learned their culture. And even once somebody had the temerity, after one had conquered the Chinese people and imposed upon them the opium trade and everything else, to suggest that they were a backward people, just the people who had been civilized so long over the rest of you folks didn't make any sense at all. So somewhere it was wonderful to find about the colored peoples of the world that they were very advanced. So I would say today that I'm an American who is infinitely prouder to be of African descent, no question about it. No question about it. I'm an Afro-American, and I don't use the word American ever loosely again.
All right, what's good, family? You may be wondering, come on, man, what's with all the clips in the beginning of this video? Why is this video gonna be so long? Well, I'm making this video for those who need to know this information. For those who are searching for something they can't put their finger on, but they know something ain't right. They're looking to put their finger on something. Well, this video is for those people. And for those folks in the former category, those who just don't get what they're seeing. That's why this video is going to be archived on YouTube. So at a time in your life, when you need to put your finger on this information, it will be here for you. I learned a long time ago. You need to just do things purposefully and on purpose, because you don't know who needs to hear the truth at the time that you are able to deliver it, right? You don't want to go shortchanging people who are looking for a way to see the answer for themselves. You don't worry about offending people because they don't worry about offending you by taking offense to your pure your pure heart. You know, some people take offense to the truth, but the truth don't change on account of it. You may be offended at 100-degree day, but the sun won't change what it's going to do on account of it. So the science of learning the African way. Now, I was born and raised in the United States of America. My formal education was preschool through high school. And though I am an African, my formal education was extremely anti-African. See, your culture, in a natural sense, culture reflects your nature, right? But our people, our African people in this part of the world, we are not allowed to embrace our culture in any of the societal institutions. We are always encouraged to forego your culture, buy into the political landscape. In fact, subordinate your nature and just go along with what's in front of you. But nature don't change though. African people don't stop being African peoples because they were taken away from Africa. It took me a long time to realize that you don't, just because you're born in Africa doesn't make you an African. And an African born outside of Africa is still an African. It is on the African to understand your nature as an African. Because if you don't understand your nature and you don't know how to listen to your nature as it makes itself prominent, you can never reclaim your culture. Your nature is always pushing to express itself. And everything about the natural African in this culture, we are taught to hate. We're taught to hate our way of speaking. We're taught to hate our skin. We're taught to hate our nose. We're taught to hate our hair. We're taught to hate the word African. We're taught to hate every aspect of our nature down to the drop, which is unnatural. No people should hate their nature. African peoples are very particular in our way, right? It's a very beautiful culture. That's why I put these clips to start this lecture off. Because you need to see yourself, people. I know I may have non-Africans watching this video, and to those people I say, you need to embrace your culture, whatever it is. Because you may be subjected to an your own culture as the African is. But the African, yeah, we are taught to really despise our culture, man. And when you do that, you become very self-destructive, which is unnatural. Nature lasts forever. Nature is forever. Okay? Everything else is temporary. All things unnatural are temporary. The only permanent is nature itself. To war with nature is stupid because nature is before you, during you, and after you. To align with nature makes you as immortal as nature. For many years, I fought my formal education, K through 12. I just fought it. Something didn't feel right. You tell me my way of speaking is wrong. You tell me my way of moving is wrong. You tell me my way of thinking is wrong. You tell me that any joy I take in myself is wrong. I have to wait on validation. I have to wait on permission to even explore my own mind. Wait on permission? Does an eagle wait on permission to exercise its nature as an eagle? Does a lion wait on instruction from the zoo in order to understand itself as a lion? You know, I never really liked zoos. You know, I've been to a zoo a couple of times in my life, but the zoo seemed like a prison for animals, right? I mean, you go and take these animals out of the indigenous lands and you destroy their lands and you put them in a place that falsely imitates what God gave them in their own land, and then people just go ooh and ah at them. It took me a long time to realize that the first zoos were human zoos. Europeans went around the world and collected indigenous peoples and took them to Europe and put them in zoos. Then they used animals, but animals were not the first zoo. Indigenous peoples were the first zoo. Interesting, you know? We're not the same. You know, I started to, I just started questioning everything because I knew I was not like the folks around me, and I knew what I saw on television was not accurately reflecting my people as I knew them. I don't know no black people like, I didn't know any black people like the ones, negatively portrayed on TV. Even the ones that were involved in criminal activity, they were generally very good people. I didn't understand that stuff going on TV. That shit wasn't real. Someone, I had to put my finger on it, man. I was angry. I was bitter. I was a lot of things. But one thing was, I was always curious, though. I could not be seduced away from curiosity because the answer to every question is already that answer. Do you have the boldness to go and explore the answer for yourself? How do you control your thinking? You don't control your thinking by controlling your thinking. Your thinking reflects your observation. And everything that is everything is something. I said this in previous videos. We're seduced into talking about what something is not. I don't have time for talking about what something is not. I'm going to talk about what I see it to be. And I want your response to be what you see it to be. If you're going to say my vision is incorrect, that must mean you have a vision that is correct. Let me see what you see. But you realize most people just believe. And what you realize also, to the degree that you are able to observe, is also to the degree that your ability to just believe would be minimized. You see, people who believe big see very little, and people who see a whole lot believe very little. They're antithetical. They're not opposites. They don't complement one another. They're not opposites. They are antithetical to each other. They destroy each other. Vision, sight, understanding, observation, participation destroys belief. And believers don't challenge their perception. They don't challenge. They avoid challenging their perception. They avoid truth coming at them. And you know, I had to go I started studying African history, and that led me into studying. Wait, let me start over. I started studying Black American history, you know, and I read the autobiography of Malcolm X. I read every time I heard of a villain in history, I would read their own work. So before I read Malcolm X, after I read Malcolm X, yeah, I read about the Russian Revolution. I read Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf. I read everything that people were saying, oh, that, you know, they're so evil and you shouldn't listen to them or read what they have to say. It doesn't matter what they have to say because they're so evil. You know, things oft repeated generally are lies. The truth don't even have to be expressed with a word. It can just be shown. I just got tired of being told what something was not, and I decided to just go put my finger on exactly what it is and let it be. And what you realize is that becomes, you start to see the connections in things. See, we were taught that we were brought over as slaves, but who were we before we were enslaved? You see, that was a question I had for a long time in my life. Well, they had slaves in Africa. They had slaves in Africa. You know, give you these little pieces, but they don't put nothing in context for you. They had slaves in Africa. Okay, then you realize that the system they had over there resembled nothing like what was called slavery here in America or the Western Hemisphere, for that matter. You know, there was no system of dehumanization in Africa. There was no system of reducing human beings to livestock and treating them worse than livestock. There was no system of enslaving children. There was no system of cannibalizing babies. There was no system of, it's just ridiculous. So I just had to go see, okay, what exactly is an African? For myself, I just had to go see for myself. And that's all I'm talking to y'all about. You need to go learn how to put your finger on things. Quit believing shit. Go see. Go see for yourself, because once you see, your thoughts will change. And when your thoughts change, your actions will change. And when your actions change, they create a positive feedback loop. You break the conditioning of negative feedback loops. You break them. What you see yourself go through and change and evolve, you cannot ever unsee. Your understanding of yourself will trump any belief others may have had of you, or maybe you even had of yourself. You're gonna see things come out of you that you didn't know were there. So I'm like, okay, if Africans are repressed over here in this country, and if Africans are repressed around the world, who were we? Why were we what's so particular about us that our story be so unique? What is so particular about African people? And how can I come to understand myself? And my vision of Africa, the African, who I am as an African. Because you have people who will tell you, you're just an individual. An individual, huh? Mm-hmm. Just an individual. And that individual exists outside of a context of a mother, a father, and that mother and father that gave birth to that individual exist outside of the context of that mother and father. And they exist in the context, look, everything in nature is connected. It begins connected, and as long as it lives, remains connected. Anytime a connection is broken in nature, death comes. So if we're talking about anything alive, it begins whole and unformed and then it becomes whole and formed. And once its form is broken, it dies. The opposite of form is not deformed. The opposite of form is unformed. Unformed clay becomes a pot. And once you have that formed pot, that's what it will be until its form is broken. Broken things do not create life. Broken things break things. And if you look at African culture in a very simple form, everything about the African celebrates movement, celebrates life, celebrates creation, celebrates unique expression, celebrates harmony, celebrates justice, celebrates balance, celebrates unity, celebrates life. Everything about the African is life affirming, creativity affirming, free expression affirming. But also there's a harmony there where you're not allowed to disrupt or break the order that has been set by the Creator. You are to participate in that order. You are that order. You're to protect that order. So although we are free, there are rules. And those rules are set by the Creator and the Creatress. Now you wonder, why are you talking through this double Dutch? Do you see the rhythm? Do you see the free expression? Though they are in harmony with one another, they are not the same. You see, synchronization is not harmonious. If everyone has to do exactly the same thing, exactly the same way, you don't have harmony, right? Because we are all aspects of the created order. We have to express ourselves in our own unique ways, but you have to do it within a harmony that is set by the Creator. One thing you understand about African culture is that we are a one-beat people. We are all on the same heartbeat, though we express it in our unique ways. Those unique expressions do not constitute us no longer being African. But anything outside of that order, anything that disrupts that order, is not African. Okay? We are harmonious people. And once I started to know this, I just started to realize my own mind. Right? I often use rhythm to do everything I do in life. From the most simple things to the most complex things. I use my connection to the order set by the Creator and the Creatress in this universe. I use my communication with that universe to find out how to align myself with movement. So when it came to wanting to learn languages, you have to learn things that move in a form that moves, right? Emotions are moving. Sounds are moving. Expression moves. You have to be in, and then you have to be in harmony with that. So let's say if I'm going to use double Dutch as an analogy. Okay, the order of the universe is the spinning of the rope. You see how it moves in a circle? Everything the African does is a circle. I mean, the African and the circle, you know, if there was one symbol that would symbolize the African, it would be the circle. So you have the rope spinning in a circle. And that's the order of the universe. You do not disturb that order. You observe. If you look at how double Dutch works, you observe the order. And then you harmonize yourself into the order. You do whatever you want to do within that order without disrupting the order, without disrupting the harmony. The harmony of the entire universe. The planet itself is in harmony with the universe. That's how you get abundant creation. When you get out of alignment with the universe, that's when you start to get disease and death. Okay? creation happens within harmony. There is no creation outside of harmony. Only destruction. And destruction is unnatural. Abundant creation is the order of the universe, and any disruption to that, it causes the destruction of anything outside of the order of the universe. The universe itself will never be destroyed, ever. The universe will destroy all entities that cause disorder in order to protect the integrity of abundant creation. You cannot have true and false live side by side. You cannot have harmony and disorder live side by side. One has to go. I had to learn this within my own mind, Okay, people watch my videos and they're like, "Well, man, I see you able to have these long conversations with Vietnamese people. I mean, they talk to you for 2-3 hours sometimes. How do you find these language partners?" All I do is get on that microphone and I talk to them about my own culture. And I shoulder the burden of understanding them, and I work with them until they can understand me. And as I commit to them, my ability to understand them increases. And as my ability to understand them increases, their ability to understand me increases. It's a reciprocity going on. Genuineness is another aspect of African culture. Genuineness. I'm not here to conquer or master or dominate or trick or deceive anybody. I'm here to embody truth. To be truth. Because truth is always growing. It's always expanding. Truth creates without destroying. So I learned these people's languages without forcing them to become my teacher. That's not what I talk to them for. In fact, oftentimes I become their teacher. And as I teach, all I do is share. I just share what I see. And then they go see for themselves, and they can become. I'm seeing some beautiful things nowadays. Just because I decided to go test my own observation, I encourage others to do the same. Don't believe a word I say. And if you come at me saying I don't believe you, I don't give a damn if you don't believe me. I'm not talking to you for that reason. Moving things, living things are born whole, and they're born moving, and that motion is perpetual. When it stops, it's dead. So if you're going to learn something like a language, you have to do it in a way that embraces the movement of that language through its culture. Culture does not die. Culture is forever. Culture lives on through the blood of the people. You have to understand that in this world, you have human beings, yes. But human beings have varying natures, just like you have different kinds of cats and different kinds of birds, different kinds of plants, different kinds of insects, different kinds of everything on this, different kinds of everything that lives on this planet. Humans are not monotone. Okay? Every person has a right to draw energy from their own respective culture. If a robin eats like an eagle, the robin will die. If an eagle eats like a parrot, the eagle will die. You have to respect and love your own culture. The Vietnamese people I talk to, they respect and love their own culture. I connect into their love of their own culture because their love for their culture is harmonious with my love for mine. You see, until I understood my nature as an African, I could not connect to anybody's love of themselves. You understand how that works? I'm a created being. I am an aspect of creation. I'm an African. I have to know for myself what an African is and what my nature is, in spite of my people being under domination, in spite of my people not allowed to embrace our culture freely, I still had to find a way to do it for myself. And that's our charge here as African people. And if you are a non-African, that's your charge to embrace your culture, your language. What I realized about African peoples is that, and I learned this by speaking to different Africans all around the world, and for some reason we just kept coming back to each other. I mean, an African in Venezuela is just like an African in America, is just like an African in Nigeria, is just like an African. I met Africans from Senegal and from Cameroon. I mean, Jesus, man, when you actually go and put your eyes and hands on other Africans, there's a certain rhythm that connects us all. Our use of language, not necessarily the language we speak, but the way it moves through us as Africans. It's a harmony there that's so powerful. And when I was listening to my miseducation and believing, I would be afraid to test this for myself. But I started going around and testing my understanding of African people who knew who they were as Africans. That's very key, because we live in a society here where if you don't know yourself, you will see yourself as the cartoon that the Dominators have drawn for you to be in. So you have to challenge your beliefs by going and challenging your observation, pushing things into your sphere that makes you perceive, put your hands on what the real answer is. And once you do that, you can't go wrong. You'll always be correct. So I went from hating myself as an African to really being grateful to the Creator for being born African. Every aspect of that, my hair, my skin, how it darkens when the sun hits me, how my mind is so fluid and holistic, and how I can feel and sense every aspect of nature. I can sense energy. I can vibe with energy. I can connect into it. When I'm listening to another people express their love of themselves, I connect into that. You see, I was never so bookish that I made myself numb. You understand? I would always lean to my sensitive side, but I had to come to understand that, because sensitivity is attacked in this culture. You're encouraged to be numb. But what is numbness? Numbness is the lack of perception of the energy flowing around you anyway. So if that energy is there anyway, why would you intentionally limit your ability to tap into? It makes no sense at all. And there's no people more sensitive and no people more empathetic than the African. We can feel all energy. Take the negative connotation off your culture and really listen to yourself. You see, I'm in listening mode all the time. People say, how do you learn these languages so easy? It's because I employ silence. I quiet myself and receive the energy as it is. I receive the sound as it is. I look at things as they are. Don't that make you feel bad? Don't you make you feel good? Don't you make you want to cry? Don't you make you want to feel this? All that other nonsense is noise. You have to quiet that noise and put your eyes and ears on what it is. Because it is what it is anyway. Take that subjective noise away from the equation and observe in silence. And that's what happened with me in Spanish and Vietnamese and Chinese and other thing else. I can observe those cultures as they truly are, and that observation conditions my mind, and my mind conditions my body and soul into what that rhythm really is. Yeah, see, silence expands your observation. Talking contracts your observation. Growth is expansion and contraction. It's like breathing. You breathe deep. You observe silently. That's expansion. When I read quietly. I don't mouth the words out. I don't voice them out. You don't mix expansion and contraction into the same space. You give each one its own space, but they're to be connected to each other. Expansion and contraction. You use your rhythm to coordinate when you do something. Time and place. You don't mix opposites into the same space. There's a time to breathe in, and there's a time to breathe out. There's a time to expand, and there's a time to contract. Confusion comes when you're mixing them together. And I'm just gonna, and you may be wondering, why is it you never give step by step on what you do? Simple. The steps that you take to achieve your mission are born from the whole concept that you have observed for yourself. To mimic steps other people have taken without the whole concept that other person has in their head, you're wasting your time. That's like taking a leg and a torso and an arm and a head and a foot and hitting it with lightning and calling it a creation. No, it's a monster called Frankenstein, and Africans don't do Frankenstein. We give birth. We give life. Whole thing. Life is born whole, complete, and moving in rhythm with the order set by the creator and the creatress. Go back and watch this video. Absorb all that African culture I put at the beginning of it, and then listen to this again and again. I really want my African people to see this, and I really want my non-African people to be inspired to go find out who the hell you are. You may have been miseducated against your nature too. I know I had as an African. I corrected it within self, and now I'm sharing with my fellow Africans. Until next time.